Video recently by Joe Hudson. He was talking about life's regrets and living a life without regret. And there was a comment underneath a video that was really interesting. I want to share it with you and then see if I can answer the question the commenter asked. She says, "Is there a way to check if we are being ourselves? For some of us who have not been ourselves for a lot of our lives for self-protection, sometimes it's hard to decipher if we're being fake or real at any moment." And I can really relate to that. That's a common symptom of complex PTSD, is just we become so accustomed to being in what she calls survival or self-protection or survival mode that we lose touch with our true self, our authentic self. And there are a few things that I think can help us learn what's the difference between a fake self and just being ourselves. First off, the fact that you're answering that question is a good sign, because I think a lot of people who are highly performative, not only are they not aware of the fact that they're performative, but they have no interest in asking that question. There's not self-awareness or the capacity or willingness to reflect. So just asking that question in itself will ultimately answer for you whether or not you're being real or fake at any given moment. Another thing you can ask yourself is, am I in my body? Is there some tension in my body in a given situation? For me, I notice that when I'm being fake, my jaw gets really tense. I can feel it. And so for a huge chunk of my life, I didn't even notice that. But lately, I've become more sensitive to that when I'm interacting with someone that maybe I don't feel comfortable with. I can feel that. And it's kind of it's like a fake smile, and you could call it a fawning response. So you can look for that tension in your body, and that might show you that you're uncomfortable, you don't feel safe, and because of that, you're performing. Another question you can ask yourself is, what do I feel right now? And if it's really hard to answer that, that could be a sign that you're not being your authentic self, because the emotion becomes so kind of pervasive, or it's taken over, that you're not even aware that you're feeling what you're feeling. So if I can take a step back internally and say, oh, I'm feeling angry right now, I'm feeling helpless right now, I'm feeling sad right now, I'm feeling afraid right now, that's an indication that you found your way back into your authentic self. Another way is to ask yourself, am I speaking with a full voice? A lot of times when we're performing, our voice comes up into our throat, or it rises an octave, I don't know, an octave or just a few levels higher than we would normally speak when we're feeling comfortable and safe. When you speak, do you feel your voice resonating throughout your chest and your throat and all the way down to your gut? Is there a connection between your voice, your throat, your lungs, and your gut? Can you feel that vibration? That's an indication that you're speaking in your full voice and you're being authentic. Another question to ask yourself is, am I in my head right now? Right? Am I rehearsing what I'm going to say and not really listening to the other person if they're speaking to me? I'm just anticipating and skipping ahead to my opportunity to jump in, and that's an indication of performance. And another question to ask is, am I in the other person's head? Am I trying to seek their approval, or what's called in the common vernacular people pleasing, and you might also call it fawning? And I know this one's a harder one and more subtle, because I think we who've been people pleasers for so long don't even realize we're doing that. But you can ask yourself that question in any given situation, and with kind of a welcoming, self-loving way, a respectful way, a curiosity, and then you can see if the answer comes to you of, well, yeah, I am. I'm trying to get this person's approval. And then I think one practice that I've been doing a lot of lately that I find very helpful with this question of whether or not I'm being authentic or performative, whether I'm being real or fake, is to do voice journaling. And the power of it is, am I comfortable enough with myself? Am I safe in my own company to be fully myself with myself and to myself? If I can do that while I'm voice journaling, no one else is around, I might not even listen to the voice journal. It's completely private. I'm never going to share it. But if I can open up to myself and be fully myself with myself, and I can sustain that over multiple days or weeks or months as a kind of daily practice, it becomes easier to be fully myself with other people. If I can trust myself, then I can start to trust myself with other people, and I find that to be very powerful.